Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's another Wednesday, which means there's a new episode of the Nasty Talks, and we are having a guest today. Our guest is Jakob. He has been on the podcast before and told us some interesting stories about his sex life, but recently he came back from Rome, and whatever happens in Rome goes on the Nasty Talks. So without further ado, Jakob.
Hi guys. Yeah, I've been in Rome and I thought might as well get back in the podcast.
Nice. Just for the listeners that haven't listened to the podcast before, who are you?
Well, go and listen to the podcast. No, but for real, I'm a guy. I'm originally Danish, 22 years old now. I like to be physically active, sports, climbing, do a lot of parkour. Yeah, I like to travel as well. I just finished exchange studies in Rome.
Nice. How was it in Rome?
It was nice. So first off, of course, it's much hotter in Rome than here.
Yeah.
I used to be very shy of heat. So like a Danish summer day would be too much for me. Yeah. And in Rome, I would be wearing a hoodie with 24 degrees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that is also a difference because in Denmark, it's very humid. Rather than in Rome, it's more dry. Like the air is more dry.
I've actually heard the opposite.
Really?
But I didn't really look into it.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. Because I know that here is like 80% to like 90% humidity most of the times. So, and I think that's less in Rome. But I don't know. But how was it with the dating life?
Yeah, so first off, everything in Rome moves slower. I have no idea why, but like... In Denmark, we like to get coffee on the go, fast food, in and out, just like, you know, like, especially with like fitness or whatever, you just really go in, do what you do and then leave. Whereas in Rome, everything takes a couple hours. If you want to get a coffee, you go sit down, then you wait a couple minutes for the coffee and all this. So it was weird to get used to that. And also in Denmark, I would mostly... When I went on dates, it would mostly be like at my place or at someone else's place. But in Rome, you live with your parents until you're like, sometimes you're like 40 years old. Both because it's part of the culture, but you don't really get the best pay in Rome. So a lot of people can't afford to move out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So when you eventually go on a date, you either go out to get a drink or coffee or even go for walks. I think I've walked through Rome so much. One night, I think, just for the date, we walked 20,000 feet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another thing in Rome is that they're really shy for some reason. I guess it's the same, like they don't want to invite you to their parents and stuff like that. So in the beginning, and throughout the whole thing, I mostly dated other exchange students.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like here in Denmark. You're like, you got some pretty eyes, want to come over, have a drink or something. And yeah, it's pretty much the same as here in Denmark.
Okay. But what type of girls have you been dating in Rome since they were exchange students? What kind of nationalities were there?
Yeah, so last time I was on the podcast, I did it with Misha, and he asked me about the flag game.
Yeah.
And I still didn't really try to do it, but you get a lot of offers from people. Like once you establish that you're both on exchange, you don't really need to know anything else. I went to one Erasmus party. I was just dancing with my friends. I wasn't even looking to do anything. But girls were acting the same way guys sometimes do in clubs. Like some good German girl came up and grinded on me from behind and stuff like that. Turned me around and started to make out with me before I even like got a look at her face. That was weird.
Well, I've actually experienced that in Denmark with girls. Like they're trying to grind up in my back, you know, my booty. And I'm like, girl, you know, like there's guys there. Why are you doing it to me? Yeah. What about any Italians?
So I actually dated an Italian, it's a funny story actually. We
love that.
Yeah. I started going to this place called Largo Venue, which is a queer club. And they have a stage where there's a lot of drag queens that perform, which is, I mean, it's fun. And I knew one of the bartenders, so I got to go backstage and stuff. And turns out one of the drag queens, she was actually a bio queen. which means she's originally a girl. And like we were just having fun one day at the party and just made out because sometimes you do that with your friends, you know. It got a little bit awkward because she has this gay friend, and I found out he was very into me. So when he saw I was making out with his friend, he got really mad at me, and like he saw it and like very sassy gay guy just and then left, and we had to go run after him outside and like try to understand what was going on. But
so he thought that you were into him, and you weren't, and you were into his friend.
Yeah, I guess
that was straight.
But it gets better. It gets so much better.
Okay.
So in this friend group, I think there are like 3 people, like the bio queen, the gay guy, and another girl. And the last girl, she seemed really reserved, or at least not interested in me, which I think that was nice because it's nice to have someone you can just be casual with. Yeah. So I started like hanging out with them outside of the club, and suddenly the bio queen and the gay guy didn't show up when we went out. At the beginning, I didn't really think of it. I was like, oh, they're probably busy. But then just before I went back to Denmark in April, this last girl, she kissed me. Okay. And I was like, okay, it's still a kiss. It's nothing super special. I kissed her friends too. So maybe it's just how the friends are. And then I got back, and then she got a little bit pissed at me because, yeah, she was like, you don't give me the attention I want. And I was like, oh, I didn't know we were something. And yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, it's all about the communication.
Yeah, and I mean, she's 19, so I guess there's also something different when you're younger.
But how old are you?
I'm 22.
22, okay, 3 years older.
But I still like a kiss. I wouldn't take that as being exclusive.
No, of course not. Of course not. Yeah. But it was maybe because, you know, it is the kiss, but maybe it's also the way, like if you were texting back and forth or something, then maybe she thought because of that, she thought that you were not necessarily exclusive, but there was something definitely there.
Yeah. But it ended out that we just like the conversations started to fade out because, yeah, she was being very emotional all the time. And then if I tried to talk about something else, she wouldn't really respond to it. And then just like a month before I left, I started seeing another girl, and we eventually started dating. And it got really awkward. Thank you. It got really awkward because I invited my then girlfriend and some friends to a fetish party.
Ooh.
Where this girl that I thought was super shy also were at.
Okay. So maybe she was just shy in another scenario than fetish party.
yeah. I was surprised, and also, when I saw her, I just took all of my friends and like turned around.
But isn't it like that? Like the people that you think that they're so, I don't know, shy, or like they're not really sexual in any like other situation in life, when you get into the bed with them, they are like crazy.
Yeah.
That happens to a lot of people.
I have some kinks too, and I also prefer to make sure that when I have a partner that I'm really comfortable with them before I share too much, because I wouldn't really consider my kinks embarrassing, but I know someone is into some weird stuff. Like at the fetish party, around the bar and all the like sitting areas, there was like people laying on the ground wanting to be stepped on.
Ooh. Yeah. Did you do it?
No. Fuck.
Oh my God, I would. No, not to like lay on the ground, to step on them.
Yeah, no. It was.
Oh, I would do it.
Yeah, but I think.
But they want it, you know? Like, that's what they want. Give them what they want.
Yeah. No, but this whole thing was crazy, this fetish party.
Okay, tell me about it.
So before I went to Rome, I'm on this site for kinky people called FetLife.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote with some Italians, and I was like, hey, can you help me get a little bit around and show me around? And one of the first things they told me, I had to go to this place called Torture Garden. And
that sounds like, really cool.
Yeah, I was too busy with my studies in the beginning, and I didn't go until like the last month, which was recently. And I think the reason I went in the first place was that I had someone to bring. Like if you go alone, it can be a bit weird because you're very out of your comfort zone. But if you have some friends, you at least like have each other.
Yeah.
So we end up going. It was kind of expensive for a party, super exclusive. I remember like some guys wanted to get in very spontaneously, and it didn't matter. Like one of the guys had like a couple €100. They were still not letting him in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But on the first floor, there was changing rooms and wardrobe, of course. So people were getting like into kinky clothing. There was a dress code, of course. And then on the second floor, there was like I don't know what to call it. It's like there was a lot of different stands, and they showed different kind of sex toys and kinks. Like there was this one place where you could try to get poured hot wax on your body.
Nice.
Yeah. And then on the third floor, I'm bad at counting, there was like a normal floor for dancing and nightclub. And one of my friends was the DJ for the night, which was really cool. And then, of course, there's like a couple cages where you can dance in, but it just looks a little bit more... Yeah, I guess it just looks different when people are dressed in leather and latex.
I get it, but what kind of music was your friend DJing?
So he's mostly into emo, rock, metal music, like Deftones and Suicide Boys.
Okay, and that's the theme that they also had for the event.
Yeah, it's kind of like it seems like if you took coke, it would just be like everybody else.
Yeah.
Even like the friends that I brought, they were like, "We have some MDMA," and I was like, "No, thank you."
You were good.
Yeah, it was already too much with all the other stuff going on.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So yeah, we stayed on this dance floor most of the night, and then at some point they opened a stage, and some drag queens came out, which was like no biggie for me. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was this lady showing a lot of skin, of course, and she was doing some kind of fire play, which was also entertaining. After that, some guys go on stage with a chair, and he's wearing, I guess, a jockstrap with like his ass out. And I'm like, this is a lot. But I guess it's fine for this. He's probably going to do like some dancing or whatever. Yeah. Like he has a chair. I looked to my girlfriend just for a bit like, have you seen his dress clothing? When I look back on stage, his whole fucking hand is up his ass.
Oh my God. Oh fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was traumatizing. I was like, what the fuck?
They took it very lightly, you know, at the beginning with the drag queens and the whatever stuff, and then all the way in with the hand.
Exactly.
Nice. I mean, you would expect that from a place like that. You would expect something like that. Or somebody just, you know, having like an orgy on the stage or whatever.
Yeah, but it was, up to this point, it seemed kind of normal. Like people were dressed a certain way, but they seemed still very casual, still very, like...
So they were not fucking...
No, not up to this point. And even like, I went to the pre-party the day before with my girlfriend, and it was like, it was this very big palace, and there was a bodyguard outside. There was no signs at all. And I was like, is it this place? And he was like, just give me a little nod, and then let us in, and like escorted us all the way in. And it was like an art gallery. And then there was a catwalk in a private library.
Oh, nice. That seems very classy.
Yeah. It was like, I was like, holy shit, this is like fucked up. And the drinks there was like €20 per drink. And I was this is high end.
Yeah, it's high end. They were making, I guess, a lot of money out of that.
Yeah. But then we thought that it was kind of the same for the actual party, which it's not even close to describe it.
Okay.
So after this guy finished fisting himself, he pulls his hand out, completely clean, and he strikes like a Michael Jackson pose. Nice. And at this point, we went back down to all the fetish stuff because it seemed more casual. Like it wasn't scary anymore. Like these guys laying on the ground.
After you've seen the fucking handed asshole.
Yeah. So we go around and my friends try the hot wax, like get completely covered.
Oh, nice. Was it nice? How was it?
I didn't get to try it. I was like letting the others do the pouring and getting poured on. I actually brought 2 friends, as to my knowledge, have nothing of experience with fetish before. Yeah. And they were like the most ready to try stuff.
Well, yeah, because then you don't have any expectations, you know, they were just like ready to go.
Yeah. And my girlfriend very quickly came over to me. I think at this point it's like 2 a.m. and she comes over to me and she's like, Jakob, I'm tired of looking at very ugly asses. And because I'm me, I didn't really notice people the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff. There was this one area with some cages, like dog cages. There was people in the cages, and around there was a lounge area. Some people were helping each other get off, and which again I didn't really notice. But my girlfriend was like, "There's a she-male getting someone off," and stuff like that. And I understand it was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Then I got to meet up with some of my other friends that are into the scene. And they were like, "Hey, Jakob, it's so good to see you. You should join us in this other room." And I was like, "Oh, there's another room. This is probably like the VIP or whatever because, I don't know."
Yeah.
Turns out it's a dark room. I don't know if you know what that is.
Not really. It sounds cool. But
a dark room is a very dark room, no lights.
Yeah.
And basically what you do is you go in there and it's an orgy.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So my friends were like, "Do you want to join us?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I brought my girlfriend in there, and she very quickly was like, "Jakob, this is too much." And we went outside, and then we decided we wanted to go home. And I was like, "But wait, before we go, we should like make the other friends go in there." So as a joke, I was like, "Oh, you should go into this room. It's really cool." They went inside, and then we didn't hear anything from them for like 20 minutes. And my girlfriend was like, "Jakob, can you please go get them?" And I go in again, and at this point, it has gone wild. Like it's propped with people, like it's completely full. People are just you see bodies falling around, like arms in the air, legs in the air, and it was kind of like a very unsynced symphony of people fucking and moaning.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would have loved to be there to see that.
It was a bit scary.
Really?
Yeah. Because you can't see what's going on, and suddenly, like, there's an arm touching you, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Okay, in that
So
sense, yes.
eventually, I find my friends, and we make it way to the exit. Right next to the exit, the other friends are standing there. And they're like, "Hey, Jakob, we want you to join us, having a little bit of fun in here." And I mean, I might have done it if I didn't have a girlfriend, but she was very keen on us being exclusive. So I was just like, "I'm sorry, guys, I have to go." I mean, also the whole scene, I wasn't really turned on. It was a bit like
creepy.
Yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, it was also so weird. Like you see these people, and I've played like board games with them and stuff.
Okay, and then you see them fuck.
Yeah, and then they're
crazy.
like, "Do you want to fuck us?" And I'm like, So that was very. Well, my girlfriend describes it as a bit traumatizing.
I can understand. Yeah.
I got very scared afterwards as well because she was very fascinated about the fisting, and she talked about that a lot. She stopped after a couple of days, but like I got concerned.
Why?
Because she was like talking about trying it and like doing small gestures towards my ass. I mean, I'm all for trying new stuff, but I think like the ass already is not something I like to play with, and just a fist.
Okay, a fist is maybe too much, but are you okay with a little less?
I don't know. I think the ass is too dirty to play with. Like it's where you shit.
Yeah, but you know, like it depends on if you do it in a controlled, nice way, clean way, and then it's actually healthy for the prostate. So. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for the future. Yeah,
I heard like when you turn 50, you have to go get a prostate exam every year. So maybe when I get older, I have to get into it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I feel so sad for your, I don't know, future wife if you ever want to get married, or your partner that you're going to have at that point that she's going to have to do it, not because you really want to, just because you really need it.
I mean, I guess that's why you go to the doctor.
Yeah. Oh, and the doctor has to do it? Oh my god.
Yeah, no. Actually, I met some other exchange students from Denmark there. And one of her friends, like she had some friends visiting her. One of them is just studying to become a doctor.
Yeah.
And she's been out like to practice it a bit. And she's done like a rectal exam on someone. And she says like after a couple of times, it's just nothing. It's fine. You just feel numb to it.
I can imagine. But still... The first few times must be traumatizing. Yeah,
I guess. But it's like that with everything. Not everything, but to that degree.
Yeah, but some stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Not really talking about traumatizing, but at the beginning, being in Rome, all these changes, moving to another city, trying to figure everything out on my own, and not really having any friends to hang out with. I was really stressed. So before I went to Rome, I'd like have a fairly active sex drive and sex life.
Yeah.
And then at the first couple of days, actually the first couple of months, it was completely gone. I just did whatever I had to do, go to school, cook, and then I would practically just sleep.
Yeah, that happens. That can happen. For me, when I moved to Denmark in the first period of time, I couldn't eat. For me, that was the thing. I was so stressed that I was forgetting to eat.
Yeah.
So we all have our issues that arise when we are
course.
stressed. So I totally understand. But I see that you've had some experiences in Rome, so it definitely came back.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to the States in a week.
Ooh,
and one
that's
of the
very
guys
nice.
I met at the Fetish party is from New York City, where I'm going. And he was like, "You seem like a nice guy." And then at the party, he was like, "You seem like a nice guy. Do you want a blowjob from my girlfriend?" And I was like, "No, thank you." Again, like, it was way
Oh
too
my
much.
God, okay.
But yeah, we linked up, and he's gonna bring me to one of the parties over there. They have a similar one with the same venue.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna see if it's different there.
Yeah, that's really nice. But from the experience that you got now and what you've seen at this fetish party, would you go again?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's fun. I definitely, while I'm in a relationship, I'd prefer to go with her. But since like it's my first time and probably, hopefully not the only one, but probably the only one, I want to try it. I had plans to go with the same group of friends to the event in Berlin. But I have another event here in Denmark that has nothing to do with sex. It's a parkour event that I prefer to go to because I'm going to see my friends I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, I understand that.
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities. So sex is not a priority, or like fetishes.
No,
Not
and
right
I mean,
now.
especially now that I'm in a relationship, I don't really feel like participating in whatever they're doing there.
Yeah.
So yeah, also like it's fun to go and watch. This is for some people this might be a little bit discriminating. I think for some other people this is going to be a very good description, but it's kind of like going to the zoo.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's discriminating because it is like we are all animals when it comes to sex.
yeah,
So that is the truth.
it is. Yeah,
And some people, have some pretty crazy fetishes, but in these kind of scenarios, it is accepted and it's actually nice that you can go and experience that and, just be you and nobody's going to judge you. So that's pretty cool.
it was a really safe zone. They had a lot of signs everywhere where it's like, don't touch anyone without consent. And there was a lot of security. There was like one of the people I know at the party. I don't know what she did, but she did something and she was almost getting thrown out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, so like, it seems like they take it very seriously.
Yeah. Okay. And the party that is going to be in New York. So that's kind of similar with this one. Is it also with fetishes? Does it have something more, you think?
It's like this it's some kind of event organizers torture garden.
Yeah.
So it's not a specific place. And I think they move every month, they move to a new capital.
Okay.
So yeah, in July they're doing one in Berlin. And in June they're doing one in New York City. Well, that's not a capital, is it?
No, it's like it's something.
But like in bigger cities, there's these events, and they move around a lot. And I think what they do is they contact the local scene, and then they get these people to come and perform and bring stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's pretty cool because then I guess a lot of people would go to different cities to see what they have to bring there in that city, in that particular, or in that country. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And what else are you doing in the States? So you're going to New York City, and are you gonna visit something more there, or?
Yeah, I was. The plan was to go to Boston first.
Yeah.
And then New York City after. And I'm going to do parkour. Now I recently got a knee injury, which was like, it was to the point I couldn't walk on my leg. So I kind of stretched the whole idea of training a lot over there. I'll be able to do a little bit, but I'll have a lot more time to be a tourist.
Yeah.
Also, I spend a lot of time in Rome networking with Americans, because when you're an exchange student, you hang out the same places, and I met some Americans, and they're like, yeah, let's meet up when you go there.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know a lot of them wanted to have a little bit of fun with me as well, but that's also off the table now.
You're so wanted. What's going on? All the guys want
Oh
you.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. No matter where you are, like if you see someone exotic, it's like a little bit of extra nice.
Yeah.
In Rome, being pale is very exotic, and I'm a bit ginger. I got very white skin. I got a couple of freckles, and my hair is a little bit orangey if you see it in the right light. So I don't know, but for some reason, especially like the emo and goth girls, they loved it. That's also why I started to hang out with these kind of people. It's a little bit weird still, like the only interactions you have with people is someone that wants to be with you.
Yeah, you kind of feel a bit used, or you don't feel like you're making friends for who you really are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a roommate in Rome, a French girl, it was super funny because she lived in Denmark for 6 years.
Oh, nice.
Because of her parents. She was doing like a French school. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like high school, but in French in Denmark.
Yeah, in Denmark.
So she doesn't really speak Danish.
Okay.
But it was fun that we both had something to do with Denmark. And I mean, she's pretty and whatever. But
And whatever.
no, I mean, I think it kind of like crosses everybody's mind when you're like on exchange that it doesn't really matter with the deep connections. It's more about having fun.
Yeah.
So of course I was like, it could be fun to have a fling going with your roommate. But what I actually realized, because it's the first time I really had like a roommate I was hanging out with.
Yeah.
So what I realized is that it's a wonderful kind of friend to have. Like we shared a lot of stuff that I usually don't really share with people. And just like this comfort, like it's an extra comfort at your house, at your home. It's like she doesn't really know how to cook. It's the first time she's living on her own. So at least once a week I would cook for both of us. Even sometimes we would like bring some friends. And when I like was really down, having like almost like a little bit of depressive episode, she would help me out. I have a hard time like being sad and actually crying in front of someone else. And there was this one time where I was just like completely laying in my bed, just like tears rolling down my face.
No.
And yeah, I didn't close my door probably, so it kind of like opened up a bit, and she noticed, and then she came to comfort me, and like we were just sitting there talking a bit. It's really nice to have this. And when she goes back to France, I'm definitely gonna go see her again at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so she lives in France now. She was also in an exchange student, in
Yeah.
an exchange program. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I also found out that my landlord is kind of sexist.
Oh, I mean, all Italian older men are, I would say. Like, I don't want to make it a general rule, but it kind of is a general rule.
Yeah. So he told me, like, one of the last days I was there, we grabbed a beer together, and he told me, like, he asked me if I had done anything with my roommate, and I was like, no. And then he asked me what I thought of her, and I was like, oh, she's a nice friend. And then he added that he thought she was very beautiful. He then told me that he had tried to find a hot girl to be my roommate.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And thinking back on it, the only people that was like shown around the apartment for looking at the other room was girls. Yeah. So
nice. That's a nice wingman, you know.
No, it just feels so awkward.
I get you. Yeah.
But yeah, talking about my landlord, he actually caught me in the fetish clothing I was wearing to the party.
What fetish clothing were you wearing?
So I was wearing some fishnets and some leather pants that was like cut some strategically placed holes in. I had like some nipple stickers, and I had a very heavy makeup as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the right scene, in the right environment,
yeah,
it looked really nice. Like I got a lot of compliments on it. But yeah, I went down because we had some issues with our buzzer for the main door. So I went down to let in some of my friends when we were getting ready, and he was like standing there, and I just remember I looked at him, and his face was just in shock. He was like a big O, just like.
I think it was the disappointment in him that he was trying to hook you up with a really cute girl, and then he saw you dressed like that. He was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was dressing somehow a little bit feminine as well. I mean, I wouldn't consider it feminine, but if you're a little bit older generation, I understand why it would seem like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he seemed very, very shocked and or maybe a little bit disappointed. I mean, I understand. I would prefer not to know something like that about someone I have a relationship like I have with him. Like, I don't want to know what he does.
Maybe he does the same. Maybe we would have met at the fetish party.
Luckily we did.
He was just coming later.
Yeah. No, but yeah, when he was showing people around the apartment, he never really announced it to me. So there was several occasions where I was like fresh out the shower, or I brought a date home and they were about to leave or something like that. And then the door, I could hear like someone unlocking the door, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. So one time I have a couple of toys to play with. So one time I was like drying them in the bathroom, and he at this point he was like riding me. So he was like, is it okay that I'm going to show the apartment off in like half an hour? And luckily I was on my way home. So I was just like, give me 40 minutes and then it's going to be okay. And I just rushed home and like moved it all to my room. And like, I think 5 minutes after I got into my room, he arrived. So it was very good timing. The reason he at all started writing me was this one time. He actually rented out the room just for a weekend to a couple.
Okay.
And I didn't know about this, so I got home from school, I took a shower. It was hot, it's Rome. We don't have very good ventilation, air conditioning. So I was cooking naked. I ended up finishing the cooking. And at this point, I think I've been like naked in the kitchen for 40 minutes. I then go to put on some pants because I was about to get some oil on the pan. And I didn't want to get that on the body, it hurts.
Yeah.
And then the door to the other room opens and a guy comes out and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
So they've been in that room for...
Yeah, they've been there for a couple hours and they could have walked out on me. At first I see the guy and I'm like, it's not too bad. He's wearing a bit of makeup. I was like, he seems a bit gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah. And then it turns out he had brought his girlfriend as well. And at this point, it's not only invading privacy, it could be like also like kind of almost like harassment of some kind. Like
because you're naked, basically. You didn't know that these people are in your apartment.
Yeah. So, like, no one wants to see a stranger naked in their apartment. No. And you also don't want to be the naked with strangers in your apartment. Yeah. So, yeah. Then he started writing me when he brought people over.
Okay, that's better, I would say. Yeah. Oh, my God. But it seems like you had some really cool stuff going on in Rome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. And I mean, since I knew that there was an end date to it and it was kind of like in the near future, I was more focused on having fun than just having a normal structured life. Yeah. So, yeah, every day changed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because also when I came to Denmark, it was the same. I came with an Erasmus program. I had so many blackouts in that period that I've never had in my life because I was just going all in, party all night. It was just amazing. But now I can't anymore because I live here, because I don't know, I just don't feel it.
Yeah, I mean, Odense is a small city, so it doesn't take a lot to meet someone you've seen before.
Yeah, and then being blackout there is not really the best scenario. No.
What did you like ever get told what you did while you were blackout?
Yes. Okay. Should I tell you one of the stories? Okay, but this was not in Denmark. I was in Romania. And I had a roommate. We were living in an apartment that was one room and the kitchen was the same. So we were sleeping in the same bed. We knew each other from high school. So it was fine. We were good friends. And we went out, and one of the days we met a guy we were waiting to take a tram to go into the city. And this guy came and stopped with a car, and he said that there's no trams going right now, but he could drive us in the city. And we said, like, I looked at my friend. She was, she was always the more careful one, whatever. And I look at her and she was like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, okay, if she says that let's go, then we're going. So we went. And the guy said that he just came from the gym, so he is gonna let us in the city center, and then he's gonna go and change, and then he can join us. And I was like, okay, perfect. And then he came at some point. We've had a lot of shots before that, and then he came and we drank some more. And then we went and danced, and he was just like all around me all the time. And then at some point, like I just forgot about myself. Like I didn't even remember whatever. And then I wake up in the morning in my bed. My friend was on the couch. And I was like, it was kind of weird that she was on the couch. And then I wake up and like I yell her name because I was not sure if she was awake. And then she was like, yeah. And I was like, what happened last night? And she was like, you don't remember. And I'm like, no, what happened? And then she's like, well, where should I start? You got drunk. You were so drunk. You were like hitting tables, hitting people, falling on so many people. This guy was just lifting you up all the time. I was hungry, so we went and got a shawarma for me. And you were falling down over there as well. Whatever. We took a taxi with this guy. We went to our place. And she said, like, I don't know, where you were talking something. And then at some point, you said something about the fact that you love your ex-boyfriend. And then he went to the bathroom and then he went home. Then in the morning, after she told me the story, I found his wallet on the table. And then a lot of messages from him and calls that he forgot his wallet. And then I was so hungover, so I just went and I looked into his wallet and I saw that he had some money, but I was like, whatever, he can just keep the money. And then I called him back and I said like, okay, it's fine, you can just come and pick up your stuff. And he came and then he said like, do you want to go for a grill or whatever with my friends? And we were like, nah, we're too hungover. But then he kept on texting me the days afterwards and we met again. And then he told me what actually happened because my friend didn't. She I was blackout, like I was falling everywhere and all that, but then when we got to our place, then we started having sex. And my friend was eating the shawarma at the table, and the table was facing the bed. So she was watching us having sex. And then at some point, I stopped him and I said like, no, because I love my ex-boyfriend. And then he went to the bathroom. And then afterwards he went home. But then we started dating and we dated for a bit. But yeah, I don't know, like it was not much. So we ended things at some point. But I was just like so annoyed that I didn't remember something like that. And then my friend also didn't tell me because I think she was too traumatized to tell me that I had sex with the guy in front of her.
I mean, sometimes you are so drunk that you don't really notice what's going on around you as well.
Yeah, I don't know if she was that, I don't think she was that drunk, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I one time also got so drunk that I don't really remember the night. And I ended up going with someone home. And I mean, luckily for me, I knew this girl before, but still, like waking up in the morning and being told that you had sex while you don't remember it, you feel at least I felt violated.
I felt the same because I don't remember saying yes to that.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, But I obviously did say yes because otherwise he wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
with my friend, and yeah. But still, I know, I understand, and I get it, and it's pretty shitty, but things happen, and it's fine. It's a funny story, and I have more, but that's for another time. Yeah.
I just remembered that I was shortly back in Denmark during April, and while I was there, one of my friends is a self-taught tattoo artist, and he was gonna give some people tattoos at an event, and I was still in line. It rolled around to like 1 a.m. and I was like, fuck it, it's late. And so I jumped on Tinder. And this is just to show the contrast between Rome and Denmark.
Yeah.
So like I was on Tinder for 5 minutes. I think it was like the second or third swipe, got a match.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, you up? And she's like, I'm actually on my way home from a party. And I was like, nice. You want to do something tonight? Because I don't really know where to sleep. I didn't really have my apartment anymore in Denmark. So yeah, I was like, a shower and a bed could be really nice, regardless of who I have to share it with.
Yeah.
And also, it's a funny story when you do that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So she was like, "Yeah, you can come over." And then while I was on my way, she wrote me, "Just promise me, don't be weird." And yeah, I mean, I always think when I go to meet someone at their place that I just don't hope they're gonna like kill me or something. Like at some point, I was like writing my friend before I went out to someone's place, just so someone knew where I was.
Yeah.
But like I go there and I'm like, I'm sorry, I am weird, but in another way.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
she was apologizing. I took a shower and she was apologizing for the bathroom while I was standing there completely like drenched in sweat because I'd been training at the event. And she was really nice, but again, like I didn't really knew her, and she was super horny, and I was like, I'm sorry, can we maybe do it another day or something? And she seemed annoyed with it, but it was okay. So yeah, I ended up seeing a couple of times while I was in Denmark, and because it went like this, I was like, fuck it, I have to try that again.
Yeah.
So I did it again with another girl while I was traveling from Aarhus to Fredericia. So
Yeah.
she was like living in, I think, in Fredericia, and she was like, yeah, you can come over. And I was like, okay, I'm here. And she was like, oh, I'm in IKEA right now. It was like in the middle of the night.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait for you, I guess. And she was like, no, my door is open. It's not locked. You can go up.
Is there even an IKEA in Fredericia?
I don't know. But like, I'm like, this is sketchy. Like, she says she's not home. I haven't met this person, and now she says the door's unlocked. Am I gonna walk into like an actual serial killer?
Yeah.
I go up there, and the door was open. There was no one home. It looks like a gamer guy's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's a PlayStation, there's an Xbox, a fucking big screen. There's a computer table with like 2 or 4 screens. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
A shit ton of games, protein powder in the kitchen, a lot of dirty dishes, and like prepared meals. Like you just have to heat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, did I just walk into like some guy's apartment? I waited out, and it is a girl. Yeah, it was, none of us was really like into the other one.
Okay.
So it was just really awkward, and I just wanted to leave, but I couldn't because there was no more trains, and I didn't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up just like going to kind of like just like turning away from her and just like trying to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just left in the morning.
Yeah. Oh my God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I think, something to keep in mind and maybe learn from it, to never date or like never go on a hookup at somebody's place. Always meet somewhere, like, I don't know, even if it's for a walk or whatever.
Yeah,
and then if you click, then yeah, sure, it can be at somebody's place. But I think it puts a lot of pressure when you meet directly at somebody's place, because then it's like, okay, we have to kind of do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, it's good that it wasn't me.
I mean, I was, in both occasions, I was going at least 80% for the story.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really hoping for anything to happen. I was just, for me, it was enough just like going there and seeing what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think they're funny stories, and it seems like you enjoyed them too.
Yeah. Come with more.
Yeah.
Next time. Bring some more stories. Oh, yeah, from New York City. We're looking forward to that. But this was really interesting. And definitely I will really like to go to one of those fetish events, whatever. So I'm going to figure that out. And I will also try some stuff. I don't know about you. Are you going to try some stuff in New York City?
Probably not.
Like wax and stuff?
No, I'm kind of like in a period now where I don't really have a sex drive. I'm more focused on other stuff. And I think that's why it's okay to be in a relationship with someone who lives in Rome, while I'm in Denmark and then going to the States, because we have so much more to connect about. Which it's really nice to have that actually. Now for quite a while I've only been dating sexually. Yeah. So having something else is really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take a little bit of a break from all that stuff. And maybe when she comes to visit me in Denmark, we're gonna do something. We can get a little group of friends to go to something here in Denmark.
That would be cool. And thank you for being here on the podcast. It was really nice to hear about your stories in Rome and all the fetishes and all the cool stuff. And good luck in New York City.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss any of our future episodes. And until next time, take care and stay nasty.